do you have any suggestions along practical lines for people living the fast pace of today to try to experience or to try to attempt something of that? Like, what would you recommend?
Yeah, you know what? I'll recommend a couple of things. It seems kind of self-contradictory for me to recommend reading a book, but this is a short book, and it changed my thinking about a lot of things. It was central to my, I don't know, I read it more than 20 years ago. It's called Leisure, the Basis of Culture by
Yeah.
Joseph Pieper. Okay, Joseph Pieper, Pieper, Leisure, the Basis of Culture. Another book to read, these are short books, would be what I mentioned before, Lewis's Abolition of Man. Believe it or not, there are passages in the Screw Tape Letters by Lewis that are apropos here. One of the stupidest things that the devil Wormwood does, according to Uncle Screwtape, is to permit his charge, the man that he's supposed to tempt to his eternal destruction, to permit him to take a walk through countryside that he enjoys, and down to an old mill, and to read a book there, just for the sake of reading it, not for the sake of saying anything intelligent about it. To actually go take a walk in countryside that is beautiful and that he likes, just for the sake of doing it, right? That's dangerous. The devils don't want us doing that kind of thing. I've asked my students, when was the last time, or have you ever seen it now? Have you ever seen a kid doing this thing that until our own age, all kids did, all the time? And that is, on a sunny day, to be lying on their backs, on the grass, on a hill, just looking up at the sky. When was the last time you saw a kid doing that? If you had gone back to, let's say, 1950 or 1930, and I asked the question, when was the last time you saw a kid doing that? That would be like asking, gee, when was the last time you saw a kid playing baseball? When was the last time you saw a kid riding a bicycle?
Mm-hmm.
That's a question that would seem to come from another universe. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about things that happen all the time. What are you, crazy? You need to see a doctor. The fact that that question makes sense now suggests that there's something very deeply wrong with us. And we need to watch out. Watch out. The sort of life that we lead, if we read Joseph Pieper, he'll show us this. The sort of life that we lead is an offense against the Sabbath, like a constant offense against the Sabbath. Because the Sabbath is about rest and joy and celebration. It's an energetic Sabbath about celebration,
Mm-hmm.
not about getting something useful done.
Mm-hmm.
Kid on his back looking up at the sun is closer to the spirit of the Sabbath than is a person in an office building working away. And it's the Sabbath that we should aim for, and not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I hope that helps. Yeah.
the real meaning of the word leisure is so fascinating. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your latest book, the Hundredfold.
Well, it's not the latest one, but it's pretty late.
Excuse me. What is your latest one?
Oh gosh. Well, the latest one that's in print
Mm-hmm.
is Sex and the Unreal City: The Demolition of the Western Mind. But that's I don't need to talk about that now.
That's a subject for another day.
That's a subject for another day. Yeah.
But last time you were with us, you read a beautiful passage from the Hundredfold, Songs for the Lord. And I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about that book, what its, what its structure is, and how you conceived it, and maybe give us a sample.
Well, if I talked about the structure of it, I'd use up the whole rest of the hour. The structure is pretty complex. I took as my model what I knew the Renaissance poets, when they composed collections of poems, okay, what they were doing. I mean, it would drive you bats. The complicated mathematics of it all would just astonishing, right? From Dante to Edmund Spencer and a couple of his contemporaries in England. It's amazing. So I said, I'm going to do something like that. And so what I've got here are 100 poems. They are in three different kinds. And it's all deliberate. It's all set up deliberate. They're all arranged in a deliberate fashion. There are hymns to which are specified the melodies they are to be sung to. So 21 hymns. And there are 67, it's actually kind of 66 plus 1, lyric poems, okay? The lyric poems, the 66 lyric poems are exactly 1,000 lines long total. And then the final one is 100 lines long. And there were 12 dramatic monologues or dialogues that are longer. I mean, they're kind of the pillars of the work. So these 12 range from about 150 lines to about 300 or so, 330 lines. There's usually one speaker, sometimes two speakers, and they're written in unrhymed iambic pentameter, so what we call blank verse, not free verse. Free verse is completely different. They don't do that. So all told, they make up 100 poems. And the dramatic monologues are the pillars of the work. Now, most of the poems, all the dramatic monologues are spoken by or written by, a couple of them are letters, by someone in or near the life of Christ. Okay. And most of all of the lyric poems are preceded by a passage from Scripture. So it would kind of go through the whole work. It would go through the manhood of Christ, to his passion and resurrection, and then the beginning of the church. Okay. A lot of the lyric poems have to do with our contemporary world too, so it got a kind of double focus. And so I thought, or at least my wife thinks, that I should read the monologue by Saint Peter, right? Because of Lent coming up. This is a bit unusual. The context is clear from the poem. This is being spoken by Saint Peter, or spoken to himself by Saint Peter, after he has denied Christ. Okay. It's before the resurrection. It's after the denial. So,
Professor Esolen,
the question is, yes.
could you just describe his denial to set the scene?
Oh, well, he's hanging around the Praetorium, where Christ has been arrested, is being interrogated by Pontius Pilate. And well, the story would be part of the poem too, but people ask him, are you one of his? Are you one of his followers? You're one of his followers, aren't you? And Peter says, no, I'm not one of his followers. He's trying to protect himself. He had said to Jesus at the Last Supper, I will remain faithful to you, even if all these others don't. I will remain faithful. And Jesus says, Peter, before the cock crows, you will have denied me 3 times.
Mm.
Okay. And Peter, in the tension of the moment, he has forgotten all about that. And then he does say, I tell you, I don't know the man. And then the rooster crows, and he suddenly remembers what Jesus said, and he goes out and wept. He wept bitterly, right? So what would that be like to be Peter in that state? That's the question I ask myself, right? You are Peter. You're in that moment. What are you saying to yourself? What's going through your head? Okay. Well, what's going through your head is well, I've come up with this. One of the unusual features of this is that for about 2/3 of it, he hardly even completes a sentence. Okay. So you'll have to bear with me. Much of this is stream of consciousness, self-accusatory, and it's mixed up with memories, and so on. Okay. So this is the monologue, St. Peter. Depart from me, I am an evil man. Fall on me, mountains, crush my foolish name out of the world. I with my swagger, I the mighty bulwark. Even if these should leave you, even if these my little timid brothers should leave you, I will never. Satan snaked into the traitor's mouth as he took bread, but never entered me. There was no need. Why did he ever call me from the shore? Why, when I could have gone to hell in peace, could have drunk off the bad night in the boat, filled my belly with swine husks? What of that? Husks are fit for a swine. Why touch my soul with thirst, with hunger? Why not let my mouth be full of curses till the grave should stop it, as it stops other swine? My brothers, they scattered like sheep, like honest weakling sheep, but not I, no. He built me up for this fall. He foretold it. I have understood nothing, done nothing, been none other than a worthless and unprofitable servant. Buried my pitted drachma in the earth, snuffed out the lamp. I'm salt without savor, ashes to gnash your teeth on and spew out. Why not have given me what I begged at first? Depart from me, I am an evil man. Depart from me. Oh, my dear Lord, do not heed what I say. I have beheld your eyes, and that has ruined my sins forever. That has ruined my life. And were I cast like Jonah into the sea, you would be there. You would look on me with your eyes. You would be there to lay my sins naked to all the world, and they deserve no less. You loved me with a love that seared me almost into life. And in my paradise, my dreams, I thought I was a worm no longer, but a man and no worm. Why, the chief of men, who could say, even if all these fools and cowards should turn upon you, should forget your love that made them. I, full of myself, my all quarrelsome and impatient self, puny and foolish even at the work I have done all my life, an empty boat, a torn net, swollen knees, and bitter words for when the wife would scold me and her mother. What did you see in that? What could you love? Depart from me. I am an evil man. I will not foul your nostrils with my stink, dead fish, brackish water, and bad linen, and sin, the stupid, worthless, paltry stuff, a stunted eel not worth the throwing back. What did you see? I search your eyes. I long to understand a little. Be alive a little like the broken eel. Be worth temptation. And they dragged you here and there as if you were a sheep led to the slaughter. And the lone question was, which mighty man would bid his servant cut your throat? And I watched. What have I done? I watched. I said I would abide the time for action, but the acceptable time is always now. If I held back, I might prove of some use. Oh, foolish, prancing peacock of a man, petty in enmity and friendship both, delivering up the Lord of life to die, all the while saying, oh, I might yet strike, must keep myself alive, but for his sake, I have undone the wonder and turned wine into the standing water of a pond coated with scum, the daily scum of men such as I am, and I have always been. You gave foreknowledge to a witless beast, but I, a man you made in your own image, I do not know the closest thing to me. I do not know myself, or will not know. All is an agony of foolishness. Oh, my sweet Lord, what have I done to you? The sons of thunder fell and hid their eyes against the brilliance that would shame the sun. But I thrust my neck upward, braved the light, said, Lord, how good it is for us to be here. How good it is. I do not know the man, said I, chafing my fingers at the fire, while the hot blood was dripping from your back, bare to the lash into the cold night air. Oh, indeed, good to be there on the mountain in the bright day. But soon the sun would set, and in my precious care for you, I said, let us erect 3 shelters from the cold, one each for you and Moses and Elijah. Out of my senses then, what of tonight? Depart from me, I am an evil man. Even if all these others should stand near, I will depart from you. Keep a discreet distance, skulking about the place of judgment, just near enough to satisfy my pride, but never once to rush among them crying, Roman, this man is innocence in the flesh. I'm the insurrectionist you want. He doesn't know what he is speaking of. Stand near so he would not die alone, abandoned. And the girl with the shrewd eyes, hoping to win some favor from her lords, said, you were one of them from Galilee. I saw you. I can hear it in your voice. The rasp of a backcountry fisherman, a witless beast. And I broke out in curses. I tell you, I have never known the man. Truth for once from my lips, the bitter truth. When he said, who do men say that I am? The others, even if all these others should give you up to the mercies of this world, I, the steadfast, shall never. They replied, Elijah, John the Baptist, or some prophet come back beneath the coverts of the flesh to hasten on the great day of the Lord. But they were far wide. When men slant their gaze away from the plain truth to search the clouds, as of old sages weighing subtle things, then he said, and he fixed us with his eyes, and what of you? Who do you say I am? If I believed it, why am I still here? I do believe it, but I am still here. So much the worse for me. My brothers fled, all but the boy, and were it not for him, I'd have found some mouse hole in the city to smuggle away my loyalty and courage and stroke myself for being wise. Said I, you are the Christ, Son of the living God. And the cock crowed. And he looked round to me. Blessed am I, Simon the son of Jonah, delivering up the Lord of life, my Lord, my friend, the brother who declared my name, summoned me out of my gnat-ridden life so that I could behold his knowing eyes, full of a sadness for such pitiful things as Simon, son of Jonah. I would swing a sword, but not go with him to the cross, brave when it counts for nothing. When he knelt in prayer amid the brooding silence of demons watching their prey, no throat of mine blurted, how good it is for us to be here. I snored and snored again, and now no sleep will come to me. But when I shut my eyes, I see his burning eyes as the cock crows, searching the little puddle of my soul, and flesh and sorrowing blood will cry, I am a sinful man. Do not depart from me. Never abandon me to be myself. They lead you onto your most bitter cross, and I, not there beside to lend a shoulder, I can do nothing else but cry to you out of the depths amid a night of tears, that you, even you with arms nailed to the tree, might reach me in the storm and bear me up into the boat, lest I, the rock, should sink and the waves close at last over my bones. Save me, O Lord, is all I have to give.
Hi, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on that red subscribe button and click that bell so you'll be notified when we upload new content. Check out all the links below for subscriptions to Inside the Vatican magazine and to the Moynihan letters, which is free to your inbox. You stay connected. It's content that you can get nowhere else. All that information is below. Thank you.